Coming up on Bloom, easy ways to eat better for optimal health.
So I like to start there and make sure that we have our gut in balance, and then make sure we're looking at the food that's being consumed, the quality of the food that's being consumed as well, because that has a big factor.
And I give hyperbaric oxygen therapy a try to find out firsthand about the incredible health benefits. Plus a new study out proving a simple mind trick can lead to a leaner body. We'll have all that and more as Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, starts now. I'm Gayle Guyardo. Welcome to Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging. There are ways to do it better when it comes to your health and wellness, from your mindset to exercise and food. So today, we're going to share small shifts you can make that will have a huge impact on how you feel. Experts will tell you these changes are easier to sustain over time, making it more likely that you'll stick to your healthier habits. And by focusing on manageable shifts, you can avoid the stress and anxiety often associated with drastic lifestyle changes. And one shift you can make is how to approach your medical care. Joining me now to explain just some of the benefits of functional medicine is the CEO and founder of Back to Health Functional Medicine and the best-selling author of You Can't Outrun Your Fork, Dr. Anya Zaghetti. It is so great to see you.
Great, thank you, Gail. Great to be here again.
So, Dr. Anya, let's talk about this growing field of functional medicine. I think a lot of people are just becoming frustrated with the system as it is, and they want more answers so they can get to the bottom of what's going on with their healthcare needs.
Yes, Gail, it's very unfortunate, actually. A lot of people are suffering, and I suffered on my own health journey as well with the options that were given to me for my own care. And the beautiful thing with root cause functional medicine is it actually gets to the root of the issues and looks at all the different factors that really affect our health to make us more optimized for our health span, not just for our lifespan.
You know, I think I had to go the functional medicine route to get to the bottom of what was going on with my health. And while I was bitter in the beginning about having to pay out of pocket to do so, I realized that I was just buying supplements blindly and grabbing on to anything that anyone said to feel better, and it wasn't working. And if you can actually get that extra blood work done, you know, find out maybe what foods you're sensitive to, all of these different ways of healing that can make a profound impact.
Absolutely. So one way I look at it is like a plant. And the way that functional medicine looks at it is we're looking at the roots of the plant, the soil, the nourishment in the soil. Does the plant have enough water and sunlight? All those factors are going to make a really healthy plant. Whereas oftentimes with allopathic medicine, we're looking at, okay, maybe the leaves are discolored. Let's trim the leaf to get rid of the discoloration. Yes, it'll look better temporarily, but that's a short-term solution. That's not for longevity and for our health span.
And by just cutting off the dead leaves, you know, you're doing it just like a broad blanket, treating everybody the same way. Functional medicine is more to the individual's needs.
Yes, exactly. And so there's three main differences that you're going to see with functional medicine versus the allopathic model, and one of them being that individual care, looking specific to the person. Like you've shared on here several times, and myself as well, we both have hypothyroidism, but we are completely unique in our health journey, our environment, all these different factors that affect our health. And so a blanket treatment isn't going to work for both of us to get to the root cause of our actual health imbalances within our body.
Yeah, I mean, for my specific, just to make you understand how, what Dr. Anya is trying to say here, for me, they just kept upping the thyroid medication. I was trembling, I didn't feel good, I felt on edge all the time, only to find out that the T3 and the T4, which I didn't even know what that was, didn't need the same amount of medication. And one was getting blasted and over-medicated. And so I felt like a mess. So what is your advice to people if they just feel like they're hitting their heads up against the wall when it comes to traditional medical care?
One is just being aware with your own body and really understanding what is going on inside and being your own health advocate, which is what I had to do as well. And knowing that, in my health struggles, I felt very hopeless and helpless because I didn't know there were other alternatives. And so that's why this is a beautiful message, and I thank you for the opportunity to share that there is other options out there. There are other ways to approach things, and looking at the foundations. Let's look at the diet. Let's look at the lifestyle factors and see where the things are imbalanced for you individually and start to work on those and work towards building a strong foundation so that you can live your healthiest life and thrive.
All right, so you were running us through 3 main areas to look at. We have 2 more to go. So talk to me about the 3 main benefits of root cause holistic functional medicine, and now we're on focusing on prevention.
Yes, so preventative care is a huge piece of it as well. Instead of just looking at the different symptoms that you're having and waiting and being reactive, prevention is the holistic functional medicine is looking at being preventative, and again, building that foundation and making sure that we have the dietary and lifestyle pieces optimized so that we don't need to react to things. So we're able to be healthier in response to things.
And then last but not least, you talk about, the patient-centered approach. And we kind of did touch on this when it comes to everyone should not be treated equally if they're, just because they might have the same condition, like you and I both have hypothyroidism.
Exactly. The patient-centered approach, for sure, with individualized approach, but then also looking at all the different systems instead of just looking at your thyroid, which it sounds like your doctors are doing for you and we're doing for me as well, because the thyroid runs so many things within our body. Our gut runs so many things within our body. If we just pull out that one organ and look at that one specific system, we're discrediting the rest of the factors in health. So we need to look at the entire holistic picture, the entire environment, mental health, hydration, stress response, the diet, the lifestyle. All these factors need to be evaluated and optimized for optimal health.
So when you go to a functional medicine doctor, I mean, they're ordering labs, they're checking, to see food sensitivities. I mean, there's a lot that goes into getting to the root cause of the problem.
Yes, and an area that I really focus on and specialize with my patients is gut health. And I feel that even Hippocrates said that all disease begins in the gut. I believe that all health begins in the gut. And so when I work with my patients, I do super in-depth work with them initially to learn about their health journey and all the different struggles that they've been through. We look at genetic factors, which does play a small role, but it does play a role. We look at dietary habits, lifestyle habits, all these different pieces of the puzzle, even before I recommend testing, because I want to get to know you as best I can. And then we look at different types of testing. And I don't order the same test for every single patient because everyone's so unique. So when I pick out blood work, I'm picking that out based on their specific lifestyle factors that we've discussed and investigated. I look at digestive health. You mentioned stool testing in previous episodes. I definitely use that. We look at hormones. We look at so many different factors, food sensitivities, whatever we need to uncover and peel back the layers of the onion for each individual. We're going to dive in and do that work with them.
Yeah, it's really interesting, the work that's being done with functional medicine. It's a game changer with how you feel.
It's transformative.
I mean, I often wake up every morning and I'm like, I can't believe I feel okay and balanced.
Yes.
Dr. Anya, thank you so much. And we're going to, of course, share all of this advice with you on BloomTampaBay.com. And Dr. Anya and I are heading into the kitchen to make a small tweaks to a salad to bump up the health benefits when Bloom returns. You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, saving lives through early detection. Call now, 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today. We're back with holistic functional doctor Anya Zaghetti, who has ways to do it better when it comes to your diet, making a quinoa salad right out of the pages of her book, You Can't Outrun Your Fork. Thank you so much for sticking around.
Thank you, Gayle. Great to be here.
Great to have you. And this is just proof that eating healthy and making small changes can be super simple.
Yes, this is one of my best ways to use leftover quinoa and a replacement for like a cold pasta salad, especially for those of us that want to cut gluten out of our diet.
Yeah, which, a lot of us are. I mean, I've tried to eliminate it completely, and this is a great alternative. So you just take your leftover quinoa that you might have made for meal prepping, and then what?
Exactly. So then we take about 3 tablespoons of olive oil.
Okay.
So that's organic olive oil if you want to pour that in. And then about a tablespoon of lemon juice. So I'll let you do that as well.
Okay.
And then I love to use fresh herbs. And one quick tip for keeping fresh herbs is actually keeping it in a glass container with a little bit of water in the refrigerator. I just put that little plastic bag that you pick up the herbs in over it to protect it from the cold environment, and then the herbs will last for weeks in the refrigerator.
Really?
I take them with me in my RV. My
You
Airstream.
do?
Yes, and so I always have fresh herbs.
That
So,
is a really
quick
cool
little
hack.
tip. So I took about half of a bunch and just chopped it up. So we have that, and then just a little bit of pink Himalayan sea salt. So pink Himalayan sea salt is going to provide over 80 different trace minerals that we need within our body. So it's a fantastic way to get those. And then I add just a dash or 2 of cayenne because I like a little heat.
Well, kick it up a notch?
Yes, do you want to stir that
Sure,
up and mix that all together? And so what I love about this salad is it's light, it's fresh, and it has my foundational 4 in it. So it has the healthy fats from the olive oil, it has high quality protein from the quinoa, and fiber from the quinoa as well, and then something green from the parsley. So you get everything in this lovely salad.
You know, we're going to touch on this coming up on Bloom in a little bit, but let's talk about people's fear when it comes to the protein by leaning in. I'm not going to be able to build the muscles, I'm not going to get the protein that I need. But you say you really can by a full plant-based diet.
I love to really incorporate and focus a meal with protein. And this quinoa is one of the best sources of protein from a plant-based perspective, and a nice complete protein as well. Now, one piece that I really want to make sure we stress with the protein puzzle is gut health. If your gut is out of balance, if you don't have enough hydrochloric acid or stomach acid, you're not going to be able to properly break down the protein regardless of what source you get it from, either plant or animal source, so that your body can actually absorb it and use it. So I like to start there and make sure that we have our gut in balance, and then make sure we're looking at the food that's being consumed, the quality of the food that's being consumed as well, because that has a big factor in the nutrients that are being taken out of the food.
So talk to me about, this breaking down of the proteins. Are there any telltale signs that the body will exhibit if you are having a problem breaking down your protein where you're like, I might need to see a functional health expert like Dr. Anya?
So a couple of the things if you're having low energy. If you're having inability to recover from exercise as well as you used to, or not being able to build muscle, things that we look at, I look at it in blood work as well. I can see the actual protein count. Another thing, if it's getting a little further down the path, is if you're getting sick more often, because protein is the building blocks for our immunoglobulins, which is our immune system. So if we can't actually break those down and break them down into our immunoglobulins to make our immune system, we're going to get sick more often.
So what is the answer to getting our guts? And I know this is a loaded question because there are a lot of different answers that go into finding complete, wellness in your gut. But if you're having trouble breaking down proteins, what kind of small changes and shifts should you be making in your diet to help?
One thing is shifting away from consuming ultra-processed food products, because those are very, very harsh on the digestive system. And unfortunately, that's the majority of the American diet right now. And it's correlated to a big surge in chronic diseases, and about 75% of our healthcare dollars are going towards these metabolic diseases. So that would be step one, replacing some of those ultra-processed foods with easy-to-make recipes, like many of the recipes in my book. Like, that took how long to assemble
Seconds,
that?
right.
So I hear a lot that people say, I don't know how to cook healthy, it's time-consuming, it's expensive. This is very inexpensive, very quick, very easy. Literally anyone can make this. So shifting away from those ultra-processed foods and eating more foods from the earth is one of the best ways to do that.
Dr. Anya, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Gayle.
All right. Well, if you would like to find this, you can log on to bloomtampabay.com, and we'll be back with more Bloom right after this. Living the Tampa Bay lifestyle means enjoying the sand, sun, and outdoors fun. So get out, get active, and nurture those healthy habits. Hey there, I'm Gayle Guyardo, host of Bloom. Now there's a new all-inclusive place with everything you need to shape your lifestyle, boost your health, and improve your wellness. BloomTampaBay.com, Tampa Bay's premier health and wellness website, made to help you feel good. Whether you're a fitness fanatic, beauty buff, or just want to take your first step towards positive change, this free website is for you. See the Bay Area's hottest fitness products, the latest workout crazes, and learn nutrition tips from the experts. Plus, discover local events and experiences designed with your well-being in mind. Cultivate a healthy mind, body, and soul. Check out BloomTampaBay.com, your local health and wellness website. That's BloomTampaBay.com. Welcome back. The foods we choose to eat can have a huge impact on our health. Chef, rancher, and author Meet Tracy McCormick strived for better health and learned how to eat for wellness during a time when there weren't any books on how to do so. With a passion for culinary creation, she intertwines the art of cooking, the science of gut health, and a farm-to-fork philosophy. After trial and error in the kitchen, she found healing and cooked her way out of chronic autoimmune disease.
I wasn't able to be 100% present, and I just wanted to feel better. And then once you start feeling better because you embark on this journey, then that's why I'm such a wild card. Like, I want to shimmy all the time because I can, because I know what it felt like to be clenched and locked and not able to participate. 17 years ago, there was no one talking about food. There were no food books, no books on eating for wellness. It was only macrobiotic cooking, and I connected to a woman who ran the digestive department at the Shaw Wellness Center in Spain, and she taught me how to cook whole grains, sea vegetables, fermented foods, legumes, and I started there, which was really pretty amazing to start there 17 years ago instead of in a classically trained kitchen. I made a lot of really terrible food, but you know what? My husband ate it.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah, he was like, it's great, keep going. But within a year, I was off the floor and that terrible pain was gone. And then I decided, well, there can't be one way. This is how I think. I'm not a fundamentalist. I think big. Like everyone is different and there has to be another way. So I went to culinary school in Los Angeles. I couldn't eat one thing that was there because I was diagnosed with celiac and I had a really strong dairy allergy as a baby and then severe sensitivity because my digestive system was disrupted. I had a dysbiosis in bacteria. So I couldn't eat dairy at all. So I would just make everything they would tell me how to make. And then I'd go home, go to the market, buy ingredients that I thought I could swap out. I learned there about fats and proteins and what we crave. It was a real blessing. And I would go home and I would change the recipe and then I would figure it out. And then I thought, well, I should write my first book. Was me writing just because I knew there were a million me's out there. I'm not alone. In anything I go through, there is always someone else just like you. I mean, different circumstances, but same spirit.
You can stream our entire conversation with me, McCormick, and watch our podcast anytime on YouTube or listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We'll be right back with more Bloom after this. You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging, saving lives through early detection. Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today.
The following portion of Bloom is sponsored by Allegro Wellness Spa.
There is a spa dedicated to relaxation and rejuvenation, blending modern techniques with ancient traditions to help you embrace total wellness. I recently visited Allegro Wellness Spa and found out firsthand how they're bringing comfort and a holistic approach to a whole new level. I'm with Jean-Pierre Velez, the owner of Allegro Wellness Spa, and thank you so much for inviting me out to your Ruskin location.
Thank you for coming in.
So tell me why you opened all these incredible popular spas in the Bay Area.
It's been an amazing journey. First, we were trying to find healing for us, and then after we saw firsthand what amazing benefits we're getting, we decided to share it with everybody so that way we can help as many people as we can.
Talk to me about some of, the services that you provide.
So we have used the latest technology to provide some of the holistic therapies that can help people. From cryotherapy, full body cryo, we help people with soreness and injuries, and joints, energy, sleeping better. Salt therapies for allergies, people that have eczema, psoriasis, amazing what it can do for you. We also offer red light therapy for the skin. We have infrared saunas, detoxifying the body. Hyperbaric chamber, which is something the things that are right now are very trendy and more people are using.
Yeah, I know that your spas have expanded so much over the years is because you do bring this cutting edge technology, and you mentioned hyperbaric chamber. I had the chance to try that, and man, what a cool experience it is.
Yes. Hyperbaric chamber is nothing new. It's been going on for many, many years. It's just becoming more accessible to everybody. Helping with wounds, helping with healing, recovery. A lot of people can actually benefit from the pure oxygen that you experience in these.
There's been so much research done on hyperbaric chambers. Breathing in that medical grade oxygen does so much for the body.
You're absolutely right. So when you enter the chamber, the change of pressures will allow you to move your blood faster and circulate better, but you're getting pure oxygen directly into your veins, and so your body's getting enriched with oxygen, which helps so much for all these parts of healing.
And what's cool is that it's actually just relaxing.
Yes, you can be there, relax, read your phone, listen music. Some people fall asleep. The whole entire process is very good, very fun.
But at the end of the day, once you go through this experience, you know that you're doing something right for your body.
Yes, think about that. We need oxygen for everything that we do, so you just get a full meal of oxygen.
Can people come in and be part of a membership where they have access to this incredible healing modalities?
Yes, absolutely. We offer memberships, we offer packages, and we offer different alternatives for people to try them on for first time or as they go.
So that way, if they start to feel the healing effects, they find their favorite treatment plan and they can just keep coming back.
100% yes. We want people to feel it and stay on it. So we're going from trying to help them from one point to preventing. So we like to people to feel better and stay better.
Jump here, thank you so much for inviting me out here today. It's absolutely amazing.
Thank you for coming in. We appreciate it. Welcome back.
Amazing. Such a cool experience. For more information, scan the QR code on your screen to visit their website or call 813-662-4343. Head to AllegraWellnessSpa.com/promo to receive a Bloom special offer. Receive 5 of their wellness services for $80. That's 50% off their Vitality Bundle. Mention code BLOOM to take advantage of this offer. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
The preceding portion of Bloom was sponsored by Allegra Wellness Spa.
Welcome back to Bloom. Today we're going to help you do it better, a way to take any health and wellness habit and just take it up a notch. And our next guest has more than 5 million followers who want to do it better when it comes to their meal plans. Joining me now is the New York Times bestselling cookbook author of Healthy Girl Kitchen, Danielle Brown. Danielle, welcome to Bloom.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So I know a lot of folks follow you because we're also interested in leaning in and switching to a more plant-based diet.
Yes, it's so crazy. I started off as a vegan food blogger thinking that only vegans would follow me, but really about 95% of the people who follow me are what I call plant curious, and people who want to eat more plant-based meals, want to make plants the center of their plate, learn how to do that meatless Monday, which is so interesting. We're really shifting into this like flexitarian sort of health lifestyle.
Yeah, I think more and more people are realizing that they just feel better eating more plants. But I bet one of the #1 questions that you get is, can I get enough protein in an all plant-based diet?
Yes, that has, and it was the #1 question I got asked when I first went plant-based almost 10 years ago now, when I was a freshman in college, and still is one of the most popular questions I think that vegans and vegetarians get. But yes, you can get enough protein. This is a common misconception that you need meat, dairy, and eggs and fish in order to get sufficient protein. But you can eat things like tofu. You can eat lentils. I make an amazing lentil bolognese, which also happens to be in my cookbook. You can just use lentils instead of meat in so many dishes. And lentils have like 18 grams of protein per cup. They're a protein powerhouse. Beans, edamame, seitan, which is like a wheat protein, tempeh, which is really delicious, but tofu too is just a great source of protein. So you can 100% get enough protein on a plant-based diet.
And you just mentioned your cookbook. Do you present meal ideas for someone looking to live a healthier, more plant-forward lifestyle?
Yes. So every day I create recipes for my followers on social media, and millions of people watch these videos because they want to learn how to make vegan recipes. And the issue is that people want easy recipes, right? There's so many recipes online, but they're complicated and people don't know how to follow them, or maybe the ingredients are inaccessible. But everything on my Instagram that I post or TikTok on social media is completely free. And I post recipes all day, every day that are completely plant-based. And I also have recipes in my book, over 100 easy plant-based recipes that will make you just feel better, whether it's a boosted mood or better digestion. A lot of people suffer from constipation. That's like one of the number one issues in the United States is the constipation problem. And plants are the only foods in the world that have fiber. Animal products don't have fiber, and we need that fiber for a healthy gut. Some of the other benefits, like a lot of people experience weight loss. I lost 20 pounds when I went plant-based, and also great for your hormone health too, especially women. Like eating plant-based is so great for healthy hormones.
Yeah, and I think too, for people out there watching, like for me, even though I'm down to just one left in the house, but out of my 4 daughters, 3 of the 4 really were all about just plant-based diets. And so what I started to do is create the entire meal around a plant-based diet, and then add in animal proteins for my husband and my youngest. So you really can find that balance if you want to.
100%. Everyone has kind of a different journey. And I always say, meet yourself where you're at in your healthy journey and lifestyle. So if you're in a place where, you're still adding animal proteins to things, like that's fine. But if you're introducing a giant salad that you wouldn't normally have at dinner, it's so much better to get those extra greens and plants that you wouldn't normally have gotten. Or maybe you have like a dedicated meatless Monday, or again, like you said, kind of tailoring everything to how everyone wants it. But it's so funny because people will say that, maybe the mom starts out as being vegan, right? But then she starts making these meals for her kids and for, maybe her partner. And then, at first they might ask for the meat, but then they find that they actually are loving the plant-based meals that they're making, and they kind of hop on board pretty quickly just because the meals are so delicious. It doesn't have to be boring.
Yeah, definitely. Your online videos are proof of that. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. It was great catching up.
Thank you.
All right,
yes, thank you so much.
We're going to share more about Danielle's cookbook, Healthy Girl Kitchen, and Danielle on BloomTampaBay.com. And before we go to break, it's time for today's Bloom trivia question. For those who choose to consume meat, what is the largest portion size recommended by the American Heart Association? 4 ounces, 6 ounces, or 12 ounces? We'll have the answer later on Bloom. You're watching Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging. We begin where your checkup ends. Call now, 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today.
The following portion of Bloom is sponsored by Lifeguard Imaging.
Welcome back to Bloom. Tampa Bay is one of only 7 places in the country where you have access to an innovative scan that can detect hundreds of different types of cancer and heart disease in their earliest stages. A reported 1 to 3 lives are being saved every day here because we have access to this scan. Joining me now from Lifeguard Imaging is the Vice President of Business Development, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer and NFL great Martin Gramatica, along with David Stewart, who is here to share his life-saving story. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So, we talk about heart disease, we talk about cancer, but David, what's so interesting about the scan and your backstory is that this is something completely different. Tell us your story.
I had a IVC filter placed in me back in late 2009, early 2010. And it was put in to try to catch blood clots, to try to keep them from getting into my lungs, because I have a protein S deficiency with hypercoagulation. So it was causing me to throw pulmonary embolisms all the time. The filter never really worked, but they left it in anyways, just a safeguard. 10 years later, had no idea what was going on with it, and we went in just to be, my wife and I, to be proactive about our health. We went in and got our scan, and the results were that it had grown through the walls of my vein and was touching 3 vital organs, including my back and my spine. So it was a ticking time bomb in my body, and had we not gone for the scan, we would have never known.
And you went actually to your doctor, and your doctor said this could have taken your life.
Yes.
And is it fair to say that being proactive about your health and knowing what's going on from head to toe, or at least to the pelvis area, that, that Lifeguard imaging saved your life?
Most definitely. If I hadn't known, I would have never gone to the doctor for my filter, because it's inside of me. I have no idea what's going on with it, and really and truly, it shouldn't have caused any kind of problems or pain. So without the scan, I would have never been able to go to the surgeon and properly plan the procedure, which this is the very first time anybody's taken one of these filters out the way he did. And instead of going through the vein to retrieve the filter, they opened up my whole stomach and had to get all the way back there and take it out. And if we wouldn't have had the scan to show that, it would have never happened.
And I think, Martine, the reason I'm so grateful that we're able to share this story is because it tells the story of Lifeguard imaging scan and how detailed that machine is. And the doctors that you have looking at the scans, they're going through it with a fine-tooth comb.
You're absolutely right, Gayle. We have a board-certified radiologist that they take a fine-tooth comb through the full-body scan, and we're looking for things because our patients are coming asymptomatic. When David came in, obviously you had the back pain, but you didn't know what was causing the back pain. Now, because of the filter, we were able to detect that the filter was touching the spine. So that's now, in that case, he was able to adjust with that, but also obviously saved his life because it was a ticking time bomb in his body that he had no idea that's what's causing all the other pains. But we're looking for any abnormalities in the body from the top of the shoulders to the base of the pelvis. And we're giving patients more information than at times than they want to know about their body because they've never had a full body scan. So this is the first time, I would say 99% of our patients that come through the door, this is the first time they're going to get a full body scan.
And David, like you and your wife, my husband and I are also part of the Legacy program, so we can annually stay on track of our health. And, I talk to so many people because I'm such a big believer in Lifeguard imaging and all that they do. And I try to tell folks, and some people say, I don't want to know. What would you tell those people?
Well, it's not something I really wanted to find out, but in the same sense, if I wouldn't have found out, it would have killed me at any time. I had no idea what was going to happen or when it was going to happen. And yes, it is a little bit concerning sometimes when you hear things that are going on in your body that you had no idea about, but wouldn't you rather be able to live longer with your family and spend more time on this earth before you go rather than just end up dying for no apparent reason, but there was a reason and it could have been caught.
Amen to that. Thank you so much. Thank you both for joining us. Call today, right now, 813-582-5222, or visit lifeguardimaging.com. You'll receive a Bloom special offer, a free heart scan when you mention Gayle or Bloom. That's a $599 value. So call today, 813-582-5222 for this special offer. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
The preceding portion of Bloom was sponsored by Lifeguard Imaging. The following portion of Bloom is sponsored by Vein 911 Vein Treatment Centers.
There's a team of board-certified vein care specialists using world-class technology to deliver comprehensive, minimally invasive procedures for those suffering with vein disease. 75% of Americans will develop vein disease in their lifetime, and many suffer in silence. But I recently visited Vein 911 Vein Treatment Centers and found out how relief is easy to find and right here in our backyard. I'm with vein and lymphatic specialist, Dr. Brian Pink, and we're talking about vein disease today. Doctor, thank you so much for inviting me out.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you here, Gayle.
So many people suffer from vein disease. I didn't realize how early it starts.
Yeah, 75% of Americans are going to have vein disease at some point in their lifetime, and 1 in 10 teenagers are going to have vein symptoms before they turn the age of 20.
That's a lot of people. So if someone's out there suffering, what are some of the signs and symptoms to be on the lookout for?
Sure, so some of the signs that we're looking for are going to be large bulging varicose veins, discoloration around the ankles, and ankle swelling. Some of the symptoms you may be experiencing would be aches and pains in your legs, numbness and tingling in your toes, cramping usually at night, and restless legs.
I think a lot of people sadly suffer in silence because they don't realize the incredible treatment protocol that you guys have here. I mean, it's way different than back in the day.
Absolutely. I think when people think about vein treatment, we're very worried about these crazy procedures and surgeries that were done in the past. You know, we all think about our grandmothers having these great big bulgy veins, and they had these horrific procedures done, many years ago, but everything now is walk in, walk out. It is no anesthesia, it's non-surgical, and there's very little downtime.
And then you have a new office, you're expanding. I mean, your treatment is so popular, you're trying to reach more people, so there's a 4th location in Largo?
Yes, ma'am. We're very excited about this 4th location down in Largo. It will be by the HCA Hospital. It's very difficult to find someone that's specialized in what we are doing and to get the high-level care and world-class care that we provide here at Vein 911. And yeah, we're trying to impact and improve the lives of more patients. As we've talked about before, so many people are really struggling with this disease, and we want to help as many people as possible.
Yeah, and I know that you guys are known worldwide. I mean, people fly to the Tampa Bay area to get this specialized treatment because it is so easy and effortless. What is the treatment protocol?
So it's very easy to get started. You give us a phone call and you get in with one of our vein care specialists right away for an assessment. We get you in that week for a diagnostic ultrasound with one of our fantastic ultrasound techs, and then we would start the compression hose trial where we can assess if you truly have some vein symptoms.
And once you start the treatment protocol, how quick is it?
We can get you, in and out with that assessment within the week. Ultrasound again, hopefully within that week, and treatment can be as early as 3 weeks after you see us the first time.
And you just walk right out the door?
Walk right out the door, yep, absolutely.
And no real downtime?
No downtime at all. You can work your normal shift at work, you can exercise as normal, all your normal daily activities.
Dr. Pink, it was such a pleasure to meet you. Thanks again for having me out.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
You can receive a complimentary pair of compression socks just by swinging by one of their 4 Bay Area locations in Largo, Clearwater, Tampa, and Wesley Chapel. For more information, visit vein911.com or call 813-544-1552 or scan the QR code on your screen to schedule an appointment. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.
The preceding portion of Bloom was sponsored by Vein 911 Vein Treatment Centers.
There is a study out that could be a game changer when it comes to building muscles and strengthening your bones. The National Library of Medicine released data about the importance of the mind-muscle connection during progressive resistance training. Here to explain how it works and why you should start incorporating this into your workout is X-Force Body's Ili Stoylova. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, Gayle.
So we're going to go through some motions with these newer bands, which you can use on vacation. And while I'll exercise, Ili's going to talk to me about how to focus from the mind to the muscle.
Yes, and it's actually has to do with the neurological system, the neuropath. So it's kind of with your mind, we're firing the muscle. So for example, if we're doing a bicep curl and you're also making sure you're moving nice and slow, you think about activating just the biceps. And this is something you can do on vacation. They're easy to pack. A lot of people don't like to pack workout clothes when they're going on vacation. So you just throw in your suitcase and you can do it quickly in your hotel room, nice and slow, and you do it until you can't do another one, nice and controlled. Let's get down on the mat. So I showed you before the slow push-ups.
Right.
Now we can do the opposite and do the back muscles, and we need to make it challenging.
Okay.
You can do more challenging by grabbing it close. So you're holding it like this and nice and slow all the way back. And if you regularly exercise, it's okay to take a week or 10 days off from exercising and not stress about working out on your vacation, because it's good for the body to recover. But if you really want to, you can do this. So now when you're pulling, focus your mind on those back muscles, upper back muscles, and really focus on activating those. And it's amazing how much more you get out of your set when you're working with the brain.
Yeah, I was reading in one study that it's 40 to 50% improvement just by focusing on the body muscle that you're exercising. That's significant.
It's amazing. It's amazing how close our bodies are meant to kind of compensate. Now we can stand back up and do the shoulders. We're not going to go into the slow squats again.
Okay.
Because we've already. Anything you do with body weight, you can do
with these bands?
Correct. So now you can go up as a lateral raise. Keep your elbows as
It's amazing how much of a workout you get with these little bands.
You can, as long as you're moving nice. So hold for a second, and 4, 3. This one I would even move like 4 seconds up and 4 seconds down.
And what part of my body am I focusing on? The shoulders?
Shoulders, just your shoulders.
Okay.
This is like a very controlled lateral raise, and nice and slow. Before people go on the beach, they like to see the definition of the shoulder. Like a little pump before you get out and show.
It is amazing, these little devices, guys. I'm used to using the ones that connect, and these are a little bit different, but they give quite the workout, especially when I've already worked out with you once this morning. It is hard. But again, everybody, just a reminder that the mind-muscle connection is really powerful. Illy, we love you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much, Gayle. That was fun.
You can watch this workout on BloomTampaBay.com, and we'll be back with more Bloom right after this. It's time for today's Bloom Trivia question. For those who choose to consume meat, what is the largest portion size recommended by the American Heart Association? 4 ounces, 6 ounces, or 12 ounces? The answer is 6 ounces. If you are going to consume meat, reduce your portion size to no more than 6 ounces of cooked meat and choose the leanest cuts available. Remove all that visible fat, and that is from the association itself. All right, well, thank you so much for tuning into Bloom today. You can catch Bloom anytime by following us on social media. We're on all major platforms, so get a behind-the-scenes look at all of the innovative breakthrough health and wellness conversations and incredible guests that we have right here on Bloom. And don't forget to check out our podcast, The Bloom Health Club. You can catch it live on Facebook and YouTube on Mondays at 2 p.m. We take a deep dive and have extended conversations with some of the top guests that we have right here on Bloom. You can watch our podcast anytime on YouTube or listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Well, we hope you'll tune in again on the next Bloom presented by Lifeguard Imaging. Meet a woman participating in the largest dessert festival in America, which is coming to Tampa Bay. And we'll tell you about dessert wars and share a delicious recipe with you. Plus, simple tricks to save thousands of dollars on your water bill. Stay healthy, everyone, and I will see you on the next Bloom.
Content segments during Bloom were paid for by Allegra Wellness Spa and Vein 911 Vein Treatment Centers.
Call now 813-582-5222 to schedule your scan today.